So it turns out we've just gotten confirmation that Ukraine did indeed have biolabs in them, and essentially it looks like they were American funded, as well as some other countries were involved with it. But why don't we take a look at Senator Rubio talking to Victoria Nuland about the situation, then we'll go a little bit more into this as we go along. So here we go with this clip of them at least admitting that they do exist.
Well, I only have a minute left. Let me ask you, does Ukraine have chemical or biological weapons?
Ukraine has biological research facilities, which, in fact, we are now quite concerned Russian troops, Russian forces may be seeking to gain control of. So we are working with the Ukrainians on how they can prevent any of those research materials from falling into the hands of Russian forces should they approach.
I'm sure you're aware that the Russian propaganda groups are already putting out there all kinds of information about how they've uncovered a plot by the Ukrainians to release biological weapons in the country and with NATO's coordination. If there's a biological or chemical weapon incident or attack inside of Ukraine, is there any doubt in your mind that 100% it would be the Russians that would be behind it?
There is no doubt in my mind, Senator, and it is classic Russian technique to blame on the other guy what they're planning to do themselves.
So I find that very interesting that they finally came out and admitted that that was a thing. So earlier today I decided to scroll through Twitter, as one does, just to see if anybody's found any links to this, just to see if there was something that went on. And a gentleman by the name of Michael Knowles actually did find the U.S. Embassy video in Kyiv. And I just want to show you what he was able to find. So he managed to find this video with a link to a website, which when he was checking it out earlier today, was needing to be seen through the Wayback Machine. And you can see here the site can't be reached. So when I was making this video, I decided to type in the website and try it myself. Turns out the site is now back up and running. But before we get to this, I do want to go over the video itself that was linked by Michael Knowles here. This video. So I have this open in YouTube here. Let's take a listen and just see what they have to say.
The work we do in the Biological Threat Reduction Program is complicated, and it's difficult to communicate it sometimes to outside audiences. And I think our adversaries like Russia can take advantage of that with some of the propaganda that they put out.
The Biological Threat Reduction Program is working in 27 countries. We feel this disinformation and misinformation is done just to really exploit divisions.
We've had accusations that some research projects were being used to create threats, not to identify threats and reduce them. Ulterior motives are being injected where none exist.
We've built these capabilities for the partners, their central reference labs for research. They publish everything they do. They invite the international community into their laboratories. They're working on behalf and the benefit of the people of their respective countries.
Kazakhstan, like many of the other republics in the former Soviet Union, had biological weapons. Russian media has attacked the Central Reference Laboratory that was built by the Biological Threat Reduction Program. The laboratory is there to both store dangerous biological pathogens from the Soviet era and to conduct research by Kazakhstani scientists in order to prevent the spread of new biological pathogens.
Work in Ukraine is essential to help safeguard Europe from some of the naturally occurring diseases that could really undermine security across the region and ultimately to the United States.
There's, conflict with Russia. They've always been very close ethnically and socially. Now they've had a shift and they're looking to the West.
In Georgia, one of the primary targets of Russian disinformation is the Lugar Center.
They were putting articles in the newspaper saying our engagement there was basically to use them as a proxy for a biological weapons program.
Their purpose is to make the Georgian people and people in the region afraid of this cooperation.
Scientists from all of the countries, they are thinking on one way to make something better for people, better health, better security.
The key thing to remember is that Georgia desires to have a strong strategic partnership with the United States to integrate into Western institutions, and Russia does not like that.
Everything what is blamed from Russia, this is has only the political platform. We organized several times the visit of the Russian journalists here, the tours in Lugar Center of the diplomats sitting here in Georgia.
There was a 22-person team of international experts who came to visit the Lugar Center to carry out a peer review. In November of 2018, Russian experts were invited to participate in this peer review. They declined to do so.
We give possibility to all these very high-level specialists for the many countries to see everything in the Lugar Center. This team was absolutely in the consensus. They say we are make here just peaceful work for public health issues.
And I'd like to invite everybody who wants to be informed about the Lugar Center and what we are doing there, including Russians. And they can come anytime.
None of these projects are classified. We're always looking for our scientists that we partner with to publish.
We combat disinformation with information and with good strategic communications.
The United States has humanitarian concerns that are beyond really power concerns. And I think it's important for the United States to continue that kind of work.
We have complete transparency in the type of work we do. This is a way that we help counter the propaganda that we get from Russia.
Wherever we go in the world, it's the same approach. We're trying to work with a partner to do positive, meaningful research and capability providing, and there's no secrets to how we approach that.
So, I gotta say, I find this video interesting because it was made January 14th, 2020, so 2 years before this entire endeavor has happened. And the weird thing is they did mention something about deadly pathogens, but when you go to the website, it seems like there might be more strategy and information that Russia might want versus actual bioweapons. So why don't we take a look at the website itself just to see what's going on here. So Defense Threat Reduction Agency, or the DTRA. Identify, develop, and field solutions to counter WMD and emerging threats. DTRA is the only Department of Defense organization, Department of Defense, that's kind of interesting to me, organization focused exclusively on countering and deterring weapons of mass destruction and emerging threats. We work with the DoD, other U.S. government and international partners to preserve peace and prepare for uncertainty, delivering innovative capabilities, objective analysis, effective programs, and world-class expertise. Again, all these links will be down below if you want to dig even further into this. So what is their mission? DTRA enables Department of Defense, the U.S. government, and international partners to counter and deter weapons of mass destruction and emerging threats. Who are we? Our experts bring a variety of skill sets and expertise and a diverse range of perspectives to address critical challenges facing our nation. DTRA's workforce includes an integrated mix of personnel from government, military, and industry, blending a variety of skills and expertise to detect, deter, and defeat weapons of mass destruction and emerging threats. What do? Well, DTRA works to protect U.S. national security interests in a rapidly evolving globalized threat environment through its trans-regional focus, enabling the understanding. DTRA, through its trans-regional focus and strong partnerships, protects U.S. national security interests in a rapidly evolving globalized threat environment to enable a greater understanding of our adversaries and provide solutions to WMD threats in an era of great power competition. Defense Threat Reduction Agency Overview. So let's go down here. So let's start with the first thing, strategic deterrence. So as China, Russia, and North Korea modernize and expand their nuclear forces, DTRA supports the services and United States Strategic Command to ensure the U.S. strategic deterrent continues to be safe, secure, and credible while protecting the American people, our homeland, and our allies and partners. DTRA directly supports the U.S. combatant commands and the DoD designated response in maintaining nuclear readiness and modernization, mission assurance, force preparedness, and treaty verification. DTRA partners with the partners with the Interagency for positive control over U.S. nuclear weapons, components, and materials by monitoring status of the U.S. nuclear arsenal and maintaining nuclear security technologies and safety training guidance, standards, and policies are integrated into the DoD's nuclear deterrent. This is why I believe, or this is one of the reasons why I believe, if this biolab is going to be under attack, it will not be because of bioweapons. I feel like it'll be because of the strategies and information they store in these biolabs in order to counteract them, per se. Well, let's continue on with what else is in here. So, U.S. treaty implementation and verification. Effective and verifiable arms control in the U.S. national security interest and makes the United States and its allies and partners more safe and secure. DTRA implements the U.S. government's arms control verification activities by planning, coordinating, and providing technical assistance and advice to U.S. delegations, commissions, interagency working groups, and other organizations engaged in arms control and non-proliferation. DTRA subject matter experts oversee and manage activities supporting on-site inspections, monitoring operations, escort activities, and observations under various treaties and conventions, including the Chemical Weapons Convention, International Atomic Energy Agency Integrated Safeguards Agreement, Vienna Document 11, New Strategic Arms Reduction Treaty, Nuclear Testing Treaties, Plutonium Production Reactor Agreement, Conventional Armed Forces in Europe Treaty. Whew, that's a lot of treaties that they follow. So next up, we got Reduce Global WMD Threats. Here we go, some more. Through its building partner capacity, BBC, programs DTRA works with partner nations to enhance local and regional counter-WMD capabilities, enabling a global network of partners to counter the development, proliferation, and use of WMD and emerging threats recognizes, as outlined in the President's 2021 Interim National Security Strategic Guidance, that many of the biggest threats we face respect no borders or walls and must be met with collective action. Non-proliferation. U.S. leadership in non-proliferation is essential to reducing the dangers posed by nuclear weapons. DTRA is the DoD lead for training and equipping partner nations in areas including border protection, non-proliferation, and counter-smuggling activities. The agency enhances international cooperation, interoperability, and provides partners with the tools and training to stop trafficking of WMD, its delivery systems, and related materials. Cooperative threat reduction. One way DTRA builds partner capacity is through the Nunn-Lugar Cooperative Threat Reduction Program. Under guidance from USD, (P), not sure who that is, and in close collaboration with the interagency partners such as the Departments of State and Energy, the agency works with partner nations to prevent the proliferation of WMD and eliminate chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear threats to the U.S. allies and partners. CTR eliminates WMD stockpiles, provides support to consolidate, secure, and account for the materials, and enables partners to detect and prevent WMD trafficking around the world. CTR also includes the Biological Threat Reduction Program, which builds capabilities to detect and track especially dangerous pathogenic diseases and links the U.S. to over 30 foreign partners, enhancing global biosafety, biosecurity, and biosurveillance. In 2021, the Defense Department's CTR program celebrates 30 years of collaboration with foreign partners. We're only about halfway through this, but let's continue. Vulnerabilities and mitigation strategies. As the nature of WMD threats, delivery systems, and adversary strategy changes, it becomes increasingly critical to forecast U.S. vulnerabilities early and develop solutions to mitigate them. DTRA brings together technical, regional, and subject matter experts to identify nascent threat activity. We map its support networks and build counter network approaches, then build tools and methods to protect U.S. forces, mitigate risk to mission, and ultimately deter adversary action. With its worldwide presence, DTRA works by, with, and through other DoD agencies, elements of the U.S. interagency, and international partners to analyze and synthesize WMD threat intelligence. Identifying vulnerabilities and connecting disparate pieces of data, the agency aids CCMDs and others to develop fuller understanding of threats and threat networks, risk to mission and risk to force, and executable options to counter and deter adversary actions. Additionally, inward at U.S. and partner capabilities, DTRA conducts mission assurance assessments to identify the readiness and efficacy of our own counter-WMD infrastructure and capabilities. We mitigate the vulnerabilities through a robust portfolio of training, technical expertise, assistance with plans and exercises, leadership education and decision support, and other material and non-material solutions. This works among DTRA's most tactical and quick turn, and often with immediate application in the field, requires expansive data sources, advanced information technologies, agile applications, development, and tailored mix of forward embedded and back-end fusion teams consisting of mission partners, customers, and DTRA's experienced and trained analysts. Working with our partners and customers, DTRA subject matter experts have developed and use systems such as the Mission Assurance Risk Management System and Catapult Information System to provide CCMDs with the accessible analysis and decision support at the speed of relevance. And finally, we have Deliver Rapid Capabilities. Finally, DTRA provides technology development and capability investments that mitigate the risks of surprise, respond to the joint forces' urgent technical requirements, and maintain the U.S. military strategic and operational superiority in countering WMD. Chemical biological technologies lead DoD science and technology to anticipate, I don't even know what that means, to anticipate, defend, and safeguard against chemical and biological threats for the warfighter and the nation. Nuclear technologies develop capabilities that enable an effective nuclear deterrent, integrate conventional forces to operate effectively in a nuclear environment, and counter nuclear threat networks. Counter WMD technologies develop, demonstrate, and transition innovative technologies and capabilities to actively counter this full spectrum of chemical, biological, radiological, nuclear, and emerging threats. Research and enabling capabilities. DTRA's basic and applied research program fosters and enables far-sighted, high-payoff research focused on unique challenges. This includes test activities which provide end-to-end test and evaluating planning, execution, and analysis, and high-performance computing capabilities which contribute to the development of software tools and high-fidelity numerical modeling and simulation. So when we look at this site, it kind of gives us the idea that even if they don't have bioweapons, which I don't believe they do. They could have components that are involved with it in order to disseminate how to destroy them or how to defend against them. But I feel like the main target in this could end up just being information in the long run. Sure, people might push it as there's bioweapons, but the weird thing is I don't necessarily feel like that's the case. I feel like there's so much information that's in there about the defense of so many different countries that if it were to get attacked or taken over, the biggest weapon they could get from there would be information. So I don't want to jump the gun and say there's no potential for WMD, well, not WMDs, but no potential for chemical or bioweapons to be there, but I do know there's pathogens there. And I do know they have a lot of strategies and a lot of information based on, well, not only the US, but the 30 other countries that are connected to this. So I personally believe the biggest threat to this is probably going to be the information that comes out of it. Would it give Putin an excuse to use bioweapons? Probably. But I don't know how that would be put into play at the moment. Right now, I do see that they have at least acknowledged this biolab exists. I did do my due diligence and dug a little bit just to see what this biolab was basically all about. And it does look like it's more so info. Big thing's going to be the information that can come from it. If for some reason there are bioweapons there, this ends up making a pretty big change in play for what's going to happen between Russia and Ukraine. And I really, really hope this doesn't escalate further. I just felt like I would make this video because I feel like the information that's being put out there right now is piecemeal, whereas I feel like I've done a little bit more of digging, and I just wanted to put that info out there. Interpret it as you will. I do think this biolab is still in danger of being taken over, and if it is taken over, so many people or so many countries are going to become vulnerable from the information it could have in its servers or in its computers or data files or anything like that. So just thought I'd make that video. Hopefully it was good. If it wasn't, let me know in the comments. I'll take your criticism hand over fist, just so that way I can improve as time goes on. But I'll be keeping an eye on this story, because if it develops further, I do want to make sure I'm covering it. Tomorrow I will be doing another video on what happened at the children's hospital, as well as the maternity side of things. And yeah, that was it was hard to watch that today, so I wasn't in the right headspace to make that video. Anyways, guys, I will see you all next time. Love you all. Bye-bye.